For the viewers, it's a Friday today.
Yes, it is.
That means it's a drinking video, is it not?
Well, normally it would be, but I was hungover last week, so we should probably make up for that. Back in 2008, the band Iron Maiden embarked on their Somewhere Back in Time tour, during which they travelled around in a custom 757 decked nose to tail in custom Iron Maiden livery. Iron Maiden livery that made some people think the plane was haunted.
So did Iron Maiden own this plane?
No, it actually belonged to Astraeus Airlines, a company I believe no longer exists, but did at the time obviously, who gave it to the band as a favour.
Why would an airline owe a heavy metal band a favour?
Oh, because the lead singer of Iron Maiden, Bruce Dickinson, was a commercial pilot at the time, and he flew planes for Astraeus Airlines. And he managed to parlay this into a meeting with, like, you know, the owner of Astraeus Airlines, and basically went, "Can I borrow a plane?" Actually, no, I think the first thing he said, "Can I have some time off? Because I'm going on tour. Also, while I'm at it, can I borrow a plane?" Even if I didn't know Bruce Dickinson was the frontman of a heavy metal band, I would know it from the fact he had the balls to ask his boss that. Because only someone with the confidence of a guy who fronts a band that performs in front of hundreds of thousands of people would be able to, like, ask his boss earnestly for a plane. I've had when I was in a restaurant, my boss wants someone to fuck off for asking to, like, you know, borrow some napkins because I was having a house party. Like, no, fuck off, you're not taking them home here. And Bruce Dickinson swaggered in to his boss's office and casually asked to borrow a plane. And they're going, "Oh yeah, sure, you can have that, mate, don't worry. And 6 months off while you're on tour." Because obviously Bruce Dickinson flying for Astraeus Airlines brought him so much free publicity because he's like, "Oh, I'm happy to appear in all that your marketing material." So, "Oh yeah, look, the front man of Iron Maiden flies one of our planes." Like, that's such a good boost to your public profile, isn't it?
So he borrowed a plane, but I'm assuming because it was his tour, he didn't fly it.
No, Bruce Dickinson flew the plane as well. Because that's one of the reasons, like, he asked them for a plane. He said, like, "We don't really trust people to get our equipment to where we need to be on time. So if I fly the plane, we'll know it's going to get there on time because I'm fucking flying it."
The airplane idea started off as a crazy gleam in my eye. If you could get all your gear into an airplane, you could cut down hugely on the amount of dead space we have in touring.
And the straight like, "You know what, that makes sense. You can have it." It's like the fact that he's asking to borrow a plane, like I'd ask to borrow your copy of God of War.
Seeing as he was like flying the band,
yes.
Do you reckon instead of doing like the pre-flight announcements, he just played like Iron Maiden songs?
Oh, I hope he fucking did, because I know that when he used to fly for Astraeus Airlines, I think he used to just like introduce himself as Bruce Dickinson, the front man of Iron Maiden. Sticking with this train of thought for a moment, Brad, what fictional character's voice would you feel most uneasy hearing over the tannoy of a plane that's about to take off that you are on? Mr. Blobby. Because you know he's going to crash on purpose for a joke. What voice would put you most at ease?
Ooh, fictional or real?
Either.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. Just hearing Tom Hanks go over thing in his Woody voice.
Yeah, because even if they crash, like, he knows how to land that plane in the river.
Oh, he did play that guy, didn't he?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'd want Harrison Ford. Because that way you know if any terrorists come on board, Harrison Ford will personally come out and kick them off the back of the plane.
Get off my plane.
Or Denzel Washington.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's in that movie where he flies a plane upside down, coked off his tits.
Shit!
And there's a great bit in that movie Flight where they say, yeah, we put every pilot we have through a simulation of what you managed to like land a plane during, and they all failed, and he did it coked out of his fucking mind. The moral of that story is that cocaine solves all problems, because at the end when he's in his court case, he manages to fly through like, you know, his deposition or whatever the fuck they call it, because he does a load of cocaine. So cocaine not only helps him land a plane, it helps him get away with taking cocaine to land a plane.
Speaking of court, somebody you wouldn't want flying the plane, Jim Carrey.
Jim
You
Carrey.
heard any of his characters?
No, not the thing is, you want him flying the plane, you want him next to it in one of those like mobile staircases, throwing his shoe at the pilot.
What was that? Looked like a shoe.
So Astraeus Airlines gave Iron Maiden a plane.
Yes, for them to use on their world tour. And what Iron Maiden then did is covered it nose to tail in Iron Maiden livery. And the plan was for halfway through the tour to give that back to Astraeus Airlines, and we were then going to remove the livery and put it back into service. But apparently, fans of Iron Maiden in like the US and Europe, because obviously heavy metal's really big in Europe, like, we kind of like this plane. Can we fly on that plane specifically? So they put it back into service with the Iron Maiden livery still on it.
Please tell me, like, there's only one person they must have gotten to fly that plane.
Oh yeah, Bruce Dickinson did fly that plane on occasion. And the best part is as well, for like the latter part of their tour, which I think was in Europe, Bruce Dickinson would fly fans to the concert in it.
That'd be the ultimate experience.
So you get to arrive in the Iron Maiden plane. So like, you take Iron Maiden fans in it to their concerts, which is fucking amazing.
So why do people think it was haunted?
Well, that happened when the plane was sent to Africa, because according to Bruce Dickinson in a letter he penned to fans, it was the only plane available for a chartered flight to Africa where Australian Airlines had been hesitant to send it, because when it got there, a lot of people thought the demonic imagery on the side meant it was haunted, and they refused to get on the plane. And like, as if that wasn't bad enough, like while Australian trying to like coax people to get onto the plane, it's like, no, it's not evil. It's just a heavy metal band from like, you know, England. Like, don't worry about it. People boarding other flights also refused to get on board because they thought the bad juju, in like Bruce Dickinson's words, would affect their plane too. So other airlines then started complaining to us, just like, what the fuck, we can't take off. No one's getting on our plane because they think your plane's haunted. Get rid of that shit. So you had to like very quickly and quietly remove the decals, at which point people got on the plane, because apparently paint stripper can stop demonic forces. Who fucking knew? To be fair to the people who were scared of getting on the plane, it's noted that a lot of them didn't think the plane was haunted per se. They just felt uneasy about getting on a plane covered in demonic imagery, which is fair enough, because I think enough people are nervous about flying without there being a fucking giant devil face on the side of the plane. It's like, if you're already worried about flying, that's probably tempting fate a little bit, isn't it? It's like that scene in Friends, isn't it, where, like, oh, my friend had a feeling about the phalanges, and like 40 people get off the plane. Because that shit happens these days, doesn't it? My favourite one of that being, it was like during the Ebola panic. A guy on a plane he coughed, and an air stewardess asked him, "Are you okay?" So he went, "Oh, it's all right. I just got back from Africa," and the entire plane deboarded in an instant and refused to get back on board.
So why did Bruce Dickinson write this in an open letter?
Well, instead of it being like a press release from the airline saying, "Oh, we're sorry, the Iron Maiden plane is out of service because people thought it was haunted," it's because Bruce Dickinson, as I mentioned, he was taking fans to shows in it. And he was really like, you know, he was annoyed about the fact they had to remove the livery because fans were really looking forward to flying in the Iron Maiden plane. Like, even though he flew in the same plane, because he didn't have the Iron Maiden shit on the side, it wasn't like, as full an experience for them as it could have been. And he was really pissed off for the fans. Like, I know, I'm still going to fly you to the show, but you can't fly in the Iron Maiden plane because apparently people thought the Iron Maiden plane was haunted. Do you know when you like book a flight and you think, where do you want to sit? What do you want to eat? Why don't you also get to pick what kind of plane you want to fly on? It's like, if they had a choice, like, okay, what livery do you want on your plane? Do you want a plain one? Or do you want to pay like an extra 20 quid to fly on with like Daft Punk on the side? I'm like, yeah, I'll pay 20 quid for that. I'll fly on the Daft Punk plane. Start advertising that kind of shit. Yeah, I might be sat eating my shit sandwich. Like, they give you, it's all soggy and wet with like a crap cup of tea that's not even warm. In the same place that someone from Iron Maiden had sex with a groupie in. Yeah, that shit's the best. Start doing that. Get on it, airlines. Do you want to fly in a plane where like some rock stars had all kinds of crazy freaky sex? And I'm like, yeah, I'm up for that. That's a story I can tell in a video later in the year. Yeah.
The story you can tell later in the year, how you spent like 50 quid to go on a certain type of plane, and when you got on there it was the same as every other plane, and you couldn't even enjoy the livery because it's on the out fucking side.
It doesn't matter.
And Bruce Dickinson wasn't flying it.
It doesn't matter. I know. It's more the fact that you know that's what it was. You get people who will pay money for like a box of earth because it's like the earth from under the penalty spot at Wembley Stadium. How's that any different?
Well, it's not, but I didn't think you'd be one of those people.
What? I'm not going to pay to like have cool shit happen to me? Fuck yeah, I am.
What cool shit happened? You're just sitting on a plane.
Yeah, but it's a plane that's covered in like super cool, awesome, sick artwork. I want to fly in a plane. Looks like Ed Hardy threw up on it.
But you can't see the plane from the inside.
But other people can see me flying on it.
No, they can't. You're tiny through a window, and no one's allowed on the airfield. The only people who see it are people in the plane, and then you're not special because they've all been through the same thing.
Yeah, but they all pay the extra. We're all special. Why do you think people pay extra to sit in those big cinema seats? It's all about looking cool, man. It's not about being cool. It's
That's about
cool.
comfort. If you paid for a more comfy seat with Iron Maiden livery on, then I'd get it.
Let's go argue about this some more. Right.
So big bands like this, they always have riders.
Yes.
Which we've mentioned before.
Yeah, what would be on the fact theme ride? And I said booze and mixer, and I'd be happy with that.
But I reckon I know you well enough now where I could fill in a rider for you.
Okay then.
So say you're going to a YouTube venue, right?
Oh yeah, let's pretend there's this big YouTube conference. They've got enough money to afford to get me.
Yeah.
The guy who'll turn up for a bottle of beer and train fare. Okay, what would be on my rider then if I got to the prima donna stage?
So obviously we'll start for the ones we know. You want some booze on there.
Obviously, yeah. Whatever's cheapest.
Whatever's cheapest.
At Asda.
So it'd either be some cheap beer, maybe some rum, maybe some whiskey.
Yeah. Then some.
Some Pepsi Max.
Sugar-free. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to watch my weight a little bit.
And obviously you said Skittles as well, but no, I think another small, almost spherical thing you want beans.
Yeah.
And to go with the beans, bread. And apparently sub rolls aren't enough.
No, you think a slice of bread?
For context, Karl refused the sub roll I offered him.
No, I don't want no fucking sub roll. You got to have a slice of bread with your beans on it. What are you talking about?
It is bread. It's a
not-
sausage-shaped bread.
It's a type of bread. We are not having the fucking bread cake argument again. Fuck you. No, Americans watching in the UK, there is a big fucking argument between all people, mine and Brad's age, when you're at university. You always have the argument, what do you call a bread cake? What do you call the meal that you have in the evening? And what do you call the space between two houses?
An alley?
Yeah, or a ginnel.
I never
Or a
heard of ginnel.
snicket. Let's
Never heard of
not get into
snicket.
this. So fuck you, no.
Okay, so we've got your rider sorted for the hotel room. What would be your vehicle of choice? How would you get there?
I'd want a shitty crap van, but it has to have the pussy wagon written on the back from Kill Bill. It's got to have that. Because it always goes up, my mate who's in a band has got this really shitty van that they use for tours, and he constantly refers to it as the passion wagon. It never ceases to crack me up. So I think you'd have to have like the pussy wagon, because it's like, imagine driving through McDonald's in that shit. You're like such a bell end.
And who would be allowed in it and what would be inside it?
It'd be me drinking in the back, and then you can be in a taxi behind me. I'm not.
I don't think I get to come in the
No one gets to come in the van.
in the fact wagon, or whatever you're going to call it.
Wagon. I don't know, you could, if you just like, we're not allowed to make eye contact though.
The no more mystery machine.
Oh man, the fact wagon, I like that.
Okay, so fact wagon's your transport.
Yeah.
What security would you have then? People who, like, so bodyguards who stop people from coming towards you and shouting the word vampire?
No, so you don't have that. What you do is like, who do they let in? Because when you always have those bands, it's like the groupies, and it's like, oh yeah, we want people with this size tits. And the people I'd let in are people who are carrying booze that I can just steal. Because you know what I'm like for this, because whenever people come to my house, I always very slowly, before we go out, at the end of the night, get everyone's booze and just hide it.
I remember, it was a few weeks ago, I left like about a quarter of a bottle of rum at your place.
And before like, you could grab it, I just like slowly put it into
I went to the toilet, came back, and you'd put it in amongst your alcohol. So then I was like, oh, it's all right, I'll have some next time I come. I came back about 3 or 4 days later when you drank it.
Hey, that's the house rule. If you bring booze to someone's house and you go out, that booze belongs to the person. That belongs to the host.
I used to love hosting house parties just
You
to
get
do that.
so much bullshit, yeah. So that's what I do. And at the end of the night when they're trying to get away, what are you doing? Whoa, that's mine now. And I just hoard it all. I'll be like Smaug.
You had some of the Pepsi Max I bought. Like, Smaug! I've only just acknowledged that you said that.
I'll be like,
It's just you lying over a
beer
pile of
bottles.
bottles.
People just look in, I'm there. The
Just
thing
a
is-
fan that you've tried to block, just going, oh, Karl, the majestic and mighty.
No. What I'm imagining though is the next day after like a heavy party, after like, a Fact Fiend concert, where the fuck we're talking about, you look through the back of the van and me passed out a load of beer bottles and a tiger thong that growls. Because that's my favourite thing. I've got to wear the tiger thong that growls. It comes from, as a story someone told me at the high school I went to up until year 10. They said on the very last day in the last assembly, someone lost a bet and they had to wear a tiger thong that growled. So every 5 minutes in the middle of the final assembly saying, oh, go out into the world and be adults and live up to the proud tradition this school has established for its alumni. You say, growl. It's just coming from some guy's dick hole. So it's always, I love the idea, whenever I do anything serious, I've got to wear one.